Hello everyone. Hi. Hello. Yeah, today I'm gonna try to bring some order into this mess. In particular, I have the way my data is organized currently. It's a bit scuffed. I have a bunch of like structs and enums that are kind of related, but like not really. And they sort of map to each other in a weird way. I have to use these hash tables, like of key code to the binding, which I think is quite a bit excessive. Right. And also kind of error prone. For example, when I set my settings, it's somebody down below during the UI thing. Yeah. This is profile, global settings, close to tray, blah blah blah. Yeah, so when I add mapping, I have to do this sort of dance where I mean, this is fine. This is just inserts into UI array. But then I need to do this. And also wait, it's not here. I think it's in a platform dependent code. Oh, there it is, yeah. So there's a lot of crap, right? So I need to do all this dance where, yeah, here I need to like remove from hash table, then I need to like set, and then I need to like resolve destination to source pointers and set them. This is all like super hacky. What I'm doing here is kind of independent. Basically, I want to update the way I'm storing these mappings and relation between them internally. So not nothing that would affect actual like user experience and UI. Just how it works internally. And now internally it works with hash tables, right? So you have a key code for you, for example, and the value of a hash table is set to escape and to a struct that specifies that escape should be remapped, or it should be like overwritten and stuff like this. And this is important because while this seems like one binding, it's actually two under the hood. You have from W to S and from S to W, right? So these override each other. And here we have, if you know, opposite, and I need to check what was the old mode, right? So if old mode was simple remap, then I just kind of override it. And then I need to like get the backwards destination, and then I need to change its mode and stuff like that. And it's just a lot of this hash table dance that I don't particularly like, and I was thinking if there is a way to simplify it. Hey Emil, hello. What custom locators does Jai have? Pool, bucket. Yeah, it has a regular pool, it has flat pool, which is just regular like bump allocator, arena. It has temporary allocator, which is also arena, but it lets you allocate overflow pages. And has a convenient method for like, you know, high watermarks, so you can like allocate, and then roll back to a checkpoint. It has a couple general purpose allocators. Like it has straight up RP-malloc port. It also has some debug allocators, like unmapping allocator that always like unmaps pages So if you try to access previously freed memory, you will crash. It also has allocator that will always like allocate memory protected pages after your memory that you requested, so that if you accidentally go out of bounds, you crash. What else does it have? Off the top of my head, I mean those are main ones, honestly. So if someone tries to override an existing double mapping, what should happen? Right, so if you want to remap that, so if, for example, you want to remap only W, right? You press the W and you want, like, no, I want space to get overwritten with S. Here's what happens. Mappings before, you have S opposite to W and W opposite to S. So what needs to get happen, W to S needs to get replaced, W needs to get replaced with space. Right, anything else, and then S. So I go like, I find the existing one, I find that its mode is opposite. This means that I know there's another one. So I change it here, and then I grab its key code and search it in a hash table. I find this one, go all the way here and change this to space. So there you go, that's how it works. Create a new mapping, assign it to W, but there is already... For now, I don't handle it like at all. Right, so this is like kind of what I want to do. So you see what happens. I add a W, and now when you see like kind of two of them are pulsating, so two of them kind of waiting for the input. So when I press like F9, you can see this, not this one, this gets set to F9. So you have from W to F9, and this one, I think it will just straight up get ignored. So under the hood, what's that? Yeah, so this is get wrecked, gets confused because two of those have the same ID. So it kind of gets confused, but regardless, this is what you have. So this one is broken. This one will never get executed. And you have W to F9 and F9 to W. So it will work, but you can see how it kind of like weird. Yeah, technically. So I technically have the one that's in UI, but this is like a reserved sort of no-op key code that will never ever happen. So while it will work, it looks weird in UI, and it kind of creates like this weird data that I don't really need. So this is also an opportunity to fix that particular situation. Or at least like think about it. And now when I delete the mapping, I think... oh, I have like a logger spinning here. So DA, F9. No, you can see I still have that. See, and now I can't remove this mapping. Because it doesn't have like key code attached to it, right? So it's just kind of there in the profile. It will never get executed, but it will be like there unless I do something like this where I forcibly overwrite everything. Yeah. That's the idea. That's the idea. So there are kind of two separate issues. First, it's weird internal storage. I would like to get rid of hash tables entirely. And then there's also this weird like array that I display here, like UI array. And I thought about it a little bit. Oh, actually, I have some uncommitted changes first before we start. I was like messing around off stream a little bit, and I moved like logger thread startup into my logger library, and I added configurable like timeout. So like if the logger thread isn't starting, you get an error log and just can proceed logging default to default sorry, not allocator, to default logger. Yeah. That's like about it. It fixed one of the race conditions. So the race condition what was that you initialize logger, you start the thread, and then all of the threads start logging, but this thread hasn't finished its startup yet, because it usually takes like 20 microseconds for thread to start up fully, right? And your threads would start like try to they will push logs onto their arenas. They would try to wake up consumer thread that is starting up, and at least on Linux, it is kind of like an undefined behavior what happens, where they would try to wake up condition variable, but this condition variable together with the mutex, they are uninitialized yet by the thread that's kind of sleeping on them. And what can happen sometimes is that you end up in a situation where your sleeping thread will just sleep forever, even if you try to wake it up, because it will initialize the mutex like, you know, undefined behavior. What the fuck am I talking about, right? And so then loggers would just infinitely spin trying to wake up the thread, but it would never wake up. That's basically the issue. This is one of them. This is one of the situations in which my logger would just lock itself up. So I fixed that. There is still another instance in which logger can lock itself up. I know the issue, I will fix it later, but that's kind of one of them. So I just moved logger thread startup together with initialization and added a little bit of a synchronization point. Hey Pika, thank you for the good luck. You could... Wait, what am I? Hey Reiken, yeah, hello. A long time. What do you mean a long time? You mean 20 microseconds to start a thread? Or what? Yeah, sometimes it's faster. We can actually... Let me commit it. Move logger thread startup into the init with a we can actually look at it, right? So yeah, here I have like a log, debug log. So, and I'm not like waiting, I'm just spinning it in the loop. So this time we had to wait 30 microseconds for the thread to fully start up. If I refresh now, it's like 46 microseconds. This is in debug build, by the way. Maybe in release build it will be faster. Here you see pretty much instantly we spawn one time, just once. So it was like something it was less than 1000 nanoseconds. That's why it says 0 microseconds. So yeah. This means now that this like kind of black background flash will be slightly longer because we sometimes have to wait for it, but I think it's okay. We might do something different where maybe we block or something. Maybe we just don't try to wake up until mutex is initialized, blah blah blah. Put your logo up until the logger. Yeah. Splash screen. Visual Studio is loading or something. Yeah. Right. But that's beside the point. Oh! Yeah, here you go. This is like another race condition. You see it's infinitely spinning. This is because let me stop compilation. So this is like another one. This is because the consumer thread doesn't like use the mutex it's supposed to kind of own when it's sleeping. This is also technically undefined behavior in like POSIX threads, and I assume sometimes because of that condition variable doesn't work. So yeah, I read about it a little bit. I kind of know how to fix it, but for now I want to focus on different things. Now this happens way more rare because I fixed the other issue. Anyway, how do we get rid of this hash table? So one of the ideas that I had is I can just create a static array of keys. I have this huge ass array of strings to cache key names, which this is like too much. It also has a bug where, like, for example, if I pass into it like a key code and then for some reason xkb, like libxkb command returns an error, I would log here incorrect string, and then this incorrect string gets hashed, gets cached, and I never sort of purge it. So another bug that I need to fix. Oh, look at this. I kind of have it. I can remove this from to-do. Yeah, this is like a to-do that we were talking about. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Where do we start? Have mapping state, program state. Second. Never mind. This is over-engineered a little bit. This maps this kind of values to strings. It's like enum to string statically. So this is what we have. We have a mapping. Wait, actually, I think this might not even be used anywhere. Does it? Oh no, it has an active mapping, yeah. So this is used. James Richard, привет. Это программка для ремаппинга клавиш. Можно посмотреть. Сейчас. Здесь поподробнее. Hey Baker, hello. Where does it use active mapping? When literally that's it? Oh yeah, there you go. So we set active mapping. I think it's literally, yeah, it's literally the one that has to pulsate. So it is an active mapping, but it is like an active this is purely for UI. Yeah, this is like purely for UI to handle like which of the mapping is pulsating, which is disabled, and stuff like that. Yeah. So we need it for now. давно занимаетесь? Ну так, да, какое-то время. So, yeah, so this mapping we kind of need, and we have mappings array, and there's a little documentation string, array of binds for showing in UI and for some intermediate states, mostly because iteration over the hash table is not consistent. Oh yeah, this is another reason why. I tried to use hash table of mappings to iterate, but then I realized that when you add remove keys, the way Jai hash table implemented, it doesn't preserve the order. So I had to add this. So that, for example, when I, add a new mapping, it gets added consistently on top and not somewhere like in the middle, or, when I delete one of them, they don't get like scrambled or rearranged. So yeah, that was the reason for this particular array. And I don't really hate it. So it has source, destination, and a mode. This is literally like UI representation of a mapping. The only sort of issue is that I need to keep them in sync because they are not really connected anyhow, and it's just every time I add or remove mappings, I need to keep them in sync, which is maybe an issue because I might want to maybe derive them every time. But regardless, I get a little bit sidetracked. So my idea was to maybe have some sort of a static array of like, I don't know, like mappings. And it's going to be something like 1,000 of, something stupid, like mapping, maybe not mapping, but right. I think it's like mapping bind. I think this is how I call them. Oh shit. Hello raiders. Welcome, Surreal. Thanks for the raid. Hello, hello. I hope your stream was okay, was good. Welcome. Yeah, and for people who don't know, Surreal works on like a little Jai project, which is kind of like Jai compiler but unaffiliated to Jonathan Blow. And yeah, I quite like your stream, so yeah, welcome. Hope you're doing okay. Nice. Yeah, and so what I'm working on a keyboard remapper program. It kind of, let me delete Hollow Knight profile. So the way it works is it lets you bind keys in a different ways, right? So for example, you can like remap caps lock to control, and now it's a global profile. It will just be active across the entire system. Also, I can do stuff like remap keys to opposite mode, which means that when you press them at the same time, whichever gets pressed last overrides the previous one. So it's yeah, I mean, the people who use it are usually do some kind of competitive gaming, right? Like for frame perfect turnarounds in competitive shooters. I know fighting gamers use it, like Fightcade and stuff. I was talking to people from Valorant communities and speedrunners too. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of the program, and you can do it system-wise, right? So for example, here I have A and D be overriding each other. So if I'll open a program that's completely unrelated to this, for example, this is Neovium, and I start going A, now I'll press D, and you see I have A. Now I release D, and A gets repressed, even though I haven't repressed A physically. I just literally spam D while still holding A, and A gets repressed as if you did it yourself. That's kind of the opposite remapping. That's the opposite thing. I can also do like neutral, so cancel each other out. can do with no repress. So the key will get overridden, but it won't get repressed. And regular as remap, right? This is like regular remap. So when you press A, only D will come out. So that's the gist of the program, and it works on Windows, and now I'm working on Linux release. And yesterday we had like a debug UI to see, buttons that you press kind of like this, which is pretty cool. Знаете ли вы, умели ли вы программировать на разных языках до появления интернета? What? Чё? Нет, не умел. Когда начал учиться программированию, интернет уже был. Но я читал книжки, так что не знаю, считается или нет. Just gonna buy newest Razer keyboard with SnapTap. Yeah. Of course. You can buy like Wooting with like magnetic represses. Yeah, this is Get Wrecked. Yeah, this is Sim plus Get Wrecked. I mean, it is not for cheaters, right? Cheaters can use this program and get wrecked by anti-cheats, but this is mostly for equalizing player field, right? So you don't need to spend like $250 for like Hitboxer controller to compete with people who like have money. Cheap viewers. But I need cheap viewers, man. I'm really desperate for some viewers. But yeah. And today I'm working mostly on like internal representation of data. You need rich viewers. You're right. Yes, you're right. You don't need 2,000 viewers. You need one whale who will donate you. But yeah. Cheap Mima mouse on grabsounds.com. Remove the space, yeah. What was the copy pasta? Like cheap shades keeps something. And then the domain that Lauren bought, I like forgot. So the James Richard is an LLM. Like it speaks in Russian, but the things that it speaks is very like incoherent. I kind of started suspecting it on the previous message, but now it's like obvious. It's like definitely an LLM. Yeah, speedrunner buy shadescape. Yeah, big time save.com. Yes, that one. Wait. Yeah, I need a recipe for the cake. Anyway. So I have mapping bind this thing. Yeah. So this is not used now, kind device type. I have a mapping mode, which is remap opposite, no repress, and neutral. And then I have a code to which we bind. And the way it works currently is I have a hash table, and the key is a code key, and then a mapping bind is whatever it maps to. There you go. From U22 to mapping bind. And I want to remove this hash table And hey, Tool, what's up? And I was thinking about hell yeah. Ain't no way it worked. uh, so it's whisk eggs with sugar, shake eggs with sugar 7 minutes until the substance doesn't become like homogeneous and silky, and it becomes white and not yellow, and the volume becomes like 3 times bigger, slightly bigger than 2 times. Aeration that comes out of the stage is a key to get a smooth, soft, and fluffy. I don't know how to translate that in English. I guess fluffy filling. Yeah, let it be filling. This method is taken from Japanese biscuit. Then you need to start adding a flour little by little. You need to. Why do you whisk flour? Ah, okay, you need to whisk flour and then the baking powder and the salt. Then you add it to the egg, like your egg substance in 3 sort of steps. Mixing 5 seconds on speed 1. I mean, this recipe is not very good, to be honest. I don't think I don't think this recipe is that good. What the fuck is this random like Nietzsche jump scare? And look at these EM dashes. The only Russians who ever use EM dashes are Mac users. And since all Russians are very broke and poor, no Russians ever use EM dashes. So you can know, you definitely know this is an LLM. Man, now I really feel bad because I just waste tokens from whoever made this bot. That's really unlucky. That was like a lot of tokens. GPT replacement. Oh, okay. Wait. Uh, I asked him for the extra algorithm in Haskell. Oh shit. I think it's still hallucinating fucking cake recipe. Well, I'll just keep him going for like 5 more minutes and then I'll probably ban it. But for now, yeah, I'll let him cook. Yeah. So, fucking LLMs. Back to programming. Yeah, so you let him bake, yeah. Long boolean. So what I was thinking about is add an array. Just like static array of mapping binds. Why do you ask? It's because mapping binds can be only. I mean, there's only so much buttons you can have, right? So if you go to input.jai, which is a bindings to kernel interface for keys, there are I think 700. So it's key max. Uh, Wait a second. So there is a key max, which is this 0xFF, which is, if I recall correctly, yes, 767. So this is how many keys, if we don't like count, random access and controllers, and also there was like buses. So this is how many keys Linux kernel supports, just like keys. So these keys, they include controllers. So this is, oh yeah, these are, I think these are like triggers on keyboards. But yeah, so this is how many keys Linux kernel supports. And this includes all of the possible joysticks, all of the possible macro keys, right? Look at this. Oops, accidentally pasted. All of the possible macro keys, all of these, like weird keys that no keyboards have these times, like key task manager, no key journal. If you're maybe older than 30 years old, then you maybe saw these keyboards with like fucking email key, right? That would open Outlook back in the days and stuff like that. So all of this is included. Also like Braille keyboard, all of this stuff. And this is like sub 1000 keys ever. So if I have an array of mappings like this, and it's for Linux, right? This is for Linux. On Windows, situation is completely fucking different for one particular reason that I rather would not get into right now. But the point being is that on Linux, you can probably have an array of 1000 mappings and be just okay. And so each of these keys, each of the indices will represent a key code. For example, 0 is a no-op. It's my kind of reserved. What was my reserved key code? Damn, this motherfucker really doesn't want to generate Haskell code. That's an L for LLM. Get key name. So a key reserved. Which one is this key reserved? I think it's actually defined somewhere here. No? Where is it? Is it here? What the fuck did I? It's in. Oh yeah, it's in input. So it's defined by the kernel. Yeah, it is defined by the kernel. So it's, you see 0. So the 0 1 will be the 0 1. Then 1 is escape and blah 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 blah. You see what I mean? And this way, the access to the binding will be pretty much instant. It's just literally index access, and then I will get a mapping bind, like guaranteed, and I can just check if it's a dummy bind, because I have an array, an operator overload for mapping binds, and I also have dummy bind defined. There you go. So this is just an empty mapping bind. Just the one you get if you have 0 initialized memory. Мне нужно, чтобы ты меня It says, I need you to reboot me. I told him, reboot, please reboot, brother. Reboot me! Yeah. So, and we would get a mapping, and then it's pretty much the same thing as we did with the hash table, but now we don't have to like array find, array find, like array set, array add. We don't need to manage all that. We can just literally put into array index and like get from array index. I think that should be probably better than managing hash tables. How about that? So let me straight up, did I commit that? Okay, I committed the logging shenanigans. So let me just get and nuke this. Blah, 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 blah. Nuke that. Yeah, nuke this hash table. And now we will do some compiler assisted refactoring. Now nothing will fucking compile. And profile mappings will be, I mean, it will be mappings, but I'll probably call it, I mean, So this poses an interesting question, right? So this is a mappings that come from the profile, so from settings. And settings, the way it looks like is this is how it looks like. So this is a profile start, and this is a global one, so for Hitboxer global, and it has mapping opposite 17 to 31. So these are key codes, and also like platform Linux, right? And then mapping opposite 30, 32. So this is how, here, so you can see it for sure. This is how it works. And these should get loaded from the text file. um, and this means that every time I switch profile, I need to, so previously when I would switch profile, I would just remove everything from the hash table, and usually removing everything means to just clear in like 4, right? Like clearing 4 keys and then re-adding new ones. But if I have 1,000 keys into array, do I iterate over all of them until I find something kept? I don't think so. I think the way I would do it now. Do it now. The way I would do it now. Oh, sorry. The way I would do it now is maybe on the profile, I would keep like an array of key codes that are occupied. So key codes used in binding this, something like this. Oh, you know what? Into an extra file. I was thinking about it, but it's kind of so now I have to keep global settings separately and profile separately. Excuse me. I probably will do that, as you know. The way I would make it is I would still keep them in the same file, but when you, for example, drag the profile onto the program, or maybe you select like profile from like some kind of widget in the program, maybe it would ask you to import all of the settings or only import profiles, and only import maybe like selected profiles. So I would still keep it in a single like file. So yeah, but that's like future. I'm sorry. I'm kind of tired. Let me actually maybe do some power music. Power, where power is not like power metal, but something upbeat, so I don't Don't fall asleep like a resident sleeper. Where's my fucking epic playlist? Shuffle is off, is on. Okay. Oh yeah. Nice. So I think the way I'm gonna keep it is that actually maybe I just straight up remove this and like not use it at all. So I will do that. And then every time you switch profile, I would infer actual bindings from these ones. Yeah, I mean, that sounds actually pretty cool. And now I can have this for active profile in UI mappings. Now I have to use mappings array. So now finalize will be broken. Let's actually, this one I will probably for now just do like this. Now get key mapping. So this one is used in an whoa, what the fuck? This one actually used in legit code when I override. We count, the correct mode being set on the destination keybind in the hash table. Yeah, this is another downside of my current way of doing things. So yeah, I handle lib input event here, blah blah blah, and then I get bind through this for event code. And what does it do? So here you see it gets like current program state, and then it uses hash table. Hash table where it just does active profile mappings and source scan code. And I think what I can do instead is I can just let's just do like this, mappings source scan code. I can just do this for now. Now, there you have it. So this is, wait, what the fuck is this? Aha, this is to set mappings. And so here, this is like a very convoluted logic. It iterates over, let me actually make it slightly quieter. So I don't like yell over it. So it goes through mappings and it prints all of them. Active profile. So I think what I'm gonna do here instead is I'm gonna literally use the mappings array. Mappings. Yeah, so here, active mapping is gonna be not a pointer to a mapping. Also, you see, it's like a pointer, which means that, oh, if it's a pointer, then it can be like a null. And actually, at this point, I'm pretty sure it can't be null because I think I handled it pretty thoroughly, but there were instances where it was null before in the early stages of the program, and it would crash my program. Bboomer, yeah. uh, I need to recreate Bboomer with myself. I need to add more emotes. I sub for valuable boomer, yeah. For now, I don't have boomers. I only have like fucking soy face of myself. And this soy face is actually real. It legit happened during a moment in a speedrun where I lost my speedrun to the stupidest thing possible. The pog face I have. Yeah, and somebody like clipped that, and so I made it into it. It wasn't me. Somebody clipped it and made it into an emote. It was sad, I think. And I just fucking stole it. But yeah. Active profile in UI. An active profile in UI. What the fuck is active profile in UI? What? It is a pointer to a profile. Yeah, okay. So this is actually fine. And I think instead of doing active profile in your mappings, I can do mapping array. Is it not? What is it? Ah, it's mappings. Oh, you know, I can just call it mappings. Yeah, so mapping array, array reset, keep in memory, mappings. Set preset will kind of be broken for now. The mappings array is not a member of profile. Where was it? Now it's just mappings. Mappings again. So this is what? Serialized settings. This is the settings serialization. Hell yeah, so kind is not a member of mapping. And this is what? Handle the input event to set mapping. Yeah. So again, mappings is an array. Source to destination, source to destination, source to destination. What I can do here is I can recreate this particular code exactly. Well, with the exception of kind. Or can I? It has mapping mode. So it's also interesting that on Linux, source and destination, they are always non-ambiguous. Because there couldn't be, or could. What code has mouse button 1? Yeah, look at this. So button left is... So yeah, you see, this is where actually Windows takes a W. Because on Linux takes a W. Because on Linux, all key codes are linear. You will never mix those up, so you can just use array of key codes, uniform array of key codes. This is not the case on Windows. On Windows, you have mouse button that has a key code 1, and you have like escape that also has a key code 1, right? So you need to distinguish. On Windows, I probably will have to have like array per kind, which is slightly more scuffed, but it is what it is. Excuse me. So I probably... Oh, You know what? Mapping has source and destination, and the source and destination are bind. And it has mode. So this is kinda... So this mode might be redundant later. Right, so the way I print it, well, first I check if you know what, mappings before. Well, first of all, I don't really want to print them. I probably want to log them somehow, like log mappings. Let's maybe... Yeah, let me make a kind of like helper function right away. Do we have some kind of... We have logger callback, log. We have like log input event. And let's do something like log mappings. And we have like profile, which is profile. Something like this. And then for profile mappings, we do... Hey Leonto, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing all right. I need to download all my like gaming playlists to my computer so I can normalize it by a fucking audio. Doesn't anyone know if YouTube Music has this feature where it like normalizes everything to have the same like volume level? Right. I mean, you don't have to look. It's like if you know, you can tell me maybe. Something like this, maybe. So what do we have? Like a string builder, I guess. And then I think you can do it in Pipewire. Set up a sync that normalizes on the fly, then just put the Holy shit. You know what? That's like a genius fucking idea. I have easy effects. Yeah, I have easy effects. I use easy effects to put sound through my like speakers when I don't want to wear headphones. I guess you can just... If I launch easy effects right now, nothing will work because by default... Do you even hear me still, by the way? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I think you yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. So sound doesn't work anymore because all of this gets outputted through with stereo tool. How do I... let me do it like this so you're not like... I forgot how I set it up, but basically it tries to find my speakers. It really tries to find my speakers. I forgot how I did it. Not gonna lie. So how do I normalize it though? Presets. Okay, add effect. Auto gain, cross crystallizer, deep noise, deezer, delay, echo canceller, equalizer? Or is it level meter? Or is it limiter? Vibration, speech, stereo tools. Which one? Libovsky? Or Kowalski? Loudness, okay. Loudness. Not available. Required for the loudness effect. Linux Studio plugins is not installed. Consider using the EasyEffect Flatpak package. Let me do Pacman. Linux Studio plugins. VST. Which one of these? Is it this one? VST 3 SDK? Fuck me. LSP plugins SDK. Connection. Okay. Let me do this. Ooh. What the fuck is this? 7 providers. Ardour, Audacity, Carla, Element, Qtractor, Reaper. Huh? I know what Carla is. And I know what Audacity is. I don't know any of other. Well, let's just. Let me kill these effects. Well, let's proceed. If my stream is gonna get nuked, please remember me. So what now? Now again, easy effects. Effects. Loudness. Not available. Fuck! I'm using the quit option inside the menu. Quit. Rip. No. Maybe again? Nope. GG. Let's give it a last one. Arch Linux, easy effects, not available. The fuck? There's a separate package? What? Those are level 2. Well, EasyFX not working. Solved. Well, you know what? I guess I'm gonna leave with unnormalized sound. This is a Linux situation for you, and yeah. Let me delete whatever I just installed, by the way. Sudo pacman -r R. All right. Anyway, well, let's continue, I guess. I'm sorry for the distraction. It would be cool if it just boom, boom, boom works. But unfortunately, Arch package maintainers just have to be a fucking bitches again. It's not the first time when packages in Arch are shit. And you have to do it yourself. Not the first time. OBS packaged in Arch is also shit. So you have to like build your own. Emacs in Arch is also shit. You have to build your own. What else? Like every fucking VLC. Just look at this. Every fucking VLC plugin, every like fucking VLC codec is a separate package in Arch. This is fucking ridiculous. And I guess they like did the same with, you know, with Easy Effects. So yeah, I'm gonna have it on record that I'm unhappy with Arch Linux. Yes, exactly. OBS doesn't have built-in browser source packaged in Arch, so you have to build it yourself. Yeah, that's the issue. Yes, our repos contain 100,000 packages, and all of these packages are wait, what? Grep, yeah. Are Python libraries. Are different Python libraries, yes. Hey, Mr. Mugami, hello, welcome. Yep. Anyway. Point being, Arch Linux sucks. Like these days, if you want a rolling release distro, you should probably still go with Arch, to be honest. Because everything else is even worse. If you're a GigaChat, you probably should go with Gentoo, because Portage, right, is it called? It gives you all the necessary flexibility to kind of customize the build to like add all you want. But if you're a little like binary bitch, then I guess go with Arch. Like, I can't in good faith recommend NixOS because not because of all the Clownfest drama, just because it's very hard to do anything like useful with Nix. So mappings. Mapping has source destination mode, and so we just print mappings before VLAM. Actually, we can do it like this. Then I guess let's just copy that. Dest format it. tprint mode it's like print to builder. mode kind code. And it's not gonna be it, it's more like it that destination. It that destination. Actually, we can just do this. And then destination, get key name, that's the key code. So this is destination formatted. And how do they print it? Source, then destination. Yeah. And then I guess you just call log. And I guess like print to builder. Well, source. So destination goes after source because we're printing to builder. Destination. Well, fuck. Source. So it's gonna be like this without, kind of like that, and then destination like this. Okay, he's back. He's rebooted. Guys, he's back. It only took like 30 minutes for him to reboot. Yeah. Let me handle that. How do you use timeout correctly? Duration reason. Duration, I think it's in seconds. So 3600. And yeah. Okay. So source. Get key name, and let's do like source is its source. And mapping its code. And actually, I should probably do like kind for source as well, because we will support not only keyboards at some point. And let's probably go code first and kind last. So like this. Kind of like that. And then at the end we do log. Yes, debug. It's gonna be log debug, yeah. And builder to string B and like on a temp. Just like that. I remember I didn't really want to use temporary allocator in my input handling thread. But maybe it's fine because it's like a log debug. Twitch is spamming my notification log. Hey Mythic, hello. I'm sorry for your loss. For loss of your sanity due to Twitch notification, but welcome. I guess it works since you're here. Why I don't want to use hash map? I actually have hash map right now, and I want to get away from it because hash maps get very like error prone when I set key codes, and I was kind of unhappy. And I mean, let's be honest, I don't really need a hash map in this situation. And this particular stuff, yes, this is just to log, and I have an array of mappings as I display them in UI. So yes, this array is for displaying in UI, but I also kinda repurposing it a little bit. I will like initialize actual mappings from it. So yeah, this is just for printing in UI for now. Well, this gets printed in the console, but besides the point. Anyway, I think this will work to print mappings, and now technically... Oh! So this... Oh yeah. This won't print all of the mappings. Because now when I have an opposite override, I have two mappings that created, so it's like from source to destination, and then from destination to source. See what I mean? Like under the hood, double-sided arrow creates two mappings, not just one. Understood. But this will only print them as they are displayed. As they are displayed. Maybe actually... Because this original debug print, the only reason why this original debug print exists is because I had hash tables. I'm just realizing that I maybe don't even need that. Damn. But yeah, for now, source destination. And if it.mode or it.mode equals, which were opposite or neutral or opposite or repress, yeah. I need to also log them backwards. Right, so I need to print to builder a few more. And this time gonna be like /n source kind is gonna be dest code dest kind. You know what? No, I'm not gonna do it because it's fucking stupid. I might just print them from an array instead, from an array of mappings. Yeah. And now what I can do here is so this just prints. I can do active state? No, it's not active state, it's active profile in UI. Yeah. Mappings before. And this all gets removed. Then what do you have here? Old source code equals active mapping that source that code. And now active mapping is gonna be a mapping. Okay. Key reserved, next state setting destination. Hello. Thank you. Happy Halloween and all that stuff. Yeah, you feel free to lurk, you don't have to. Yeah, I ate too much sugar today. I feel like fucking sugar crash. Woo. But I couldn't appear as weak in front of my daughter. Is the same thing as you need to like drink on par with your father-in-law. Otherwise he will deem you unworthy of his daughter. The same thing is you need to eat candies on par with your little kid, or they will feel your weakness and won't obey your orders. So now I'm like I'm literally crashing out. Holy shit, 5 stream streak. Some real fans in the chat. Give it up. It's crazy how much they push this kind of thing. Yeah. It's crazy. You know what? The other day it showed me this notification on holy shit, like 6 of your viewers will miss a streak today if you don't post a clip or a story. Like post here. And this is where we have a hash table that we need to remove. So we log mappings before. We get the old source code. Why is this a thing? If old source code equals key reserved. Ah, okay, it's next state. This is the next state. This is our like crazy state machine. Now we get the old binding from old source code. So we get the old source code. Yeah, so this is the old binding that we need to clean up probably. Old binding from old source code. So old source is, then we do what? Active mapping, source, code, assign the code. And then we set it into a hash table. And then if one of these, so if this has like an opposite kind of mapping, then we need to track it from the destination code. And we also need to set the destination to a new source. And then we remove the old source code. This all like logic is crazy. All of this logic, it's simple, but it's kind of convoluted. So yeah, here I will also log it, like log mappings. In UI and mappings after. This can be removed. Set source. This. Debug. Is it gonna be log debug or should I just log it regularly? At the moment I just log it regularly, but I feel like it kind of clutters the log. Let's leave it. Let's leave it. Maybe I should also log these regularly. I know. Yeah, mappings before should definitely be a log debug. This probably also log debug, but this is a print old source. I think I can collapse these two branches for setting source and setting destination. Because if I just set... The only thing that will be different is the next state. So when you set source, next state will be set destination. And when you set destination, next state will be nothing. So we're like done. Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I will probably if zero this. So first of all, let me like undo a bunch of this. Yeah. And then yeah, this is it here. Set to to set mapping. There you go. So I'm going and just this like that. Yeah. So this isn't happening anymore. Let me. The fuck. Uh-huh. Reset LLM, I'm hungry. Yeah, it came back, but I had to time it out. Because it started to be like super rude. It told me that I never kissed a girl. My ego would never handle that. Yeah, reboot me! That was crazy. Yeah. So set preset. So this is not a table now. Now it is an array. Actually, so we don't need this anymore. Mappings, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Mapping. Now we don't do table set. Active profile in UI. So this will be, all of this will be on an array. Yeah, so add to array of mappings. But before I do set preset, I need to clean. So before I do this, before I clean mappings, I need to clean array up. And so this is mappings array. Mapping. Actually, what if I will call just binds? It's not mappings, it's like binds. Kind of like active binds. So now this is mappings. And now this is not a table anymore. Huh. Yeah, I think this is gonna be so... I don't need this table anymore. This is gonna be just mappings. This I don't need anymore. What the fuck is that? Mappings before, mappings after. So this is log. Log mappings. Again. Right. There you fucking have it. Array insert add. So table set, we don't table set anymore. This is gonna be like the next. Yeah, this is gonna be, oh wait, what? This is now just mappings. This is also now just mappings. Now we have this issue. So here, active profile settings. So what does it actually do? Add mapping. Like, bloop. We're inserting, and then instead of we don't need this. We have a static array now. Yeah, I like the more I go through this refactoring, the more I kind of like it. Right, so I don't need to do this to just kind of pre-initialize it. And now because, so this like source, you see I have to use like key reserved for source and destination here. And now I don't need anything. I just do this. Actually, no, I still need them to display them in UI. Yes, I would still do it to display those in UI. Well, with only sort of difference, maybe I can just... Oh shit, so good. I can just do this. Can I not? So what do we have here? Maybe fix up settings. Undeclared identifier mappings. Yeah, because now this does not exist anymore. So what this even does? Settings have default profile in it. So what this does is it's kind of a mechanism to fix a broken setting. So if you give me like settings that as OCD that are broken, we just sort of ignore all this content and then rewrite it with whatever bindings we have by default. If not default found. Where do you get default though? Yeah, so you get like Hitboxer global in case, you know, it might be like set in memory already. Yeah, we get like the index of it in an array of profiles. And then yeah, array insert at profiles platform program 0. Rewrite settings true. Else if default index blah blah blah. Profiles. I don't even use mappings here. I wonder what the fuck is this. Maybe I actually deleted it from here. I probably just straight up deleted it. Get key mapping. Mappings. So now it's binds. What did I call them? Active binds. Now it's active binds. Now, what's this? We're here. Yeah, we're back, and now it doesn't like that we are trying to set something in a hash table, and we actually don't need to do it anymore. Now here, it's not mappings array anymore. For mapping, active profile UI mappings. Now it's just mappings. So again, this is logging the mappings, and I can just log mappings. Again, same shit, active profile, and just like that. Next one, active profile in UI. So this is the infamous get wrecked drop down. I've suffered a lot from it, and I even have my own fork. But they kind of, I think I fixed some issues. Let me read this comment. Ooh, look at the Emacs text wrapping. Crazy. Oh. Interesting. So it doesn't wrap these by word. It wraps these by error. But then it wraps these by word. That's like an interesting distinction. Anyway. Yeah, not as good as mine, that's for sure. The fuck is this? I don't even know how to pronounce your name, but Io Jai is real, what the fuck? Yes, it is real. With a caveat. That you can't have it. Because it is still in closed beta. You're welcome. My Ian Gelfor Kamachi Aid Baka. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna call you Baka. Now you are my sassy Baka. So what is this hack about? We might be reusing the leaked drop-down state with the same hash. Left after removing a mapping with the same code. So test for null pointer. Need a better way to clear stale states or remove current value pointer from it. Oh yeah. This is an issue. So this is a this is a typical issue in pretty much all UI systems when you have to deal with a list of elements where this list is not necessarily sequential, right? So each of the individual items has some kind of an ID. And so when you delete one of the items, suddenly, because all the items shift, the same exact ID, if you use sequential ID, get reused by some kind of different input, different element of the list. And then you get fucked because, you know, now the ID, like let's say 3, is not what it used to be. And for example, if under the hood, your widget associates IDs with some like internal state and on pointers, everything gets messed up. And that was the case with the drop downs. Because in GetRect, the UI library I use, drop downs aren't, or at least they weren't meant to be like dynamic. And so what do I even do it? I have an active mapping. I have a new mode. So this is when you change. So our drop down is, well, drop down. Rectangle, mapping mode names, current value pointer, yeah. Yeah, so current value pointer is from the mapping mode. And then if it's changed, and changed get returns from the dropdown, would you reference a current value pointer to get the mode? Huh, look at this. Random functional cast syntax. What the fuck is this? This was from a brief time I enjoyed functional casts. Interesting. Yeah, so we get a new mode. We get the destination pointer, which I need to remove. Table find pointer. Yeah. So what is this? Let me open working one. So let's say we click here. We have an opposite mode. And I'll remind you that opposite mode under the hood is implemented as two separate mappings. So you have from source to destination, and you have a separate mapping from destination to source, because these buttons need to override each other. And when you replace it to, for example, remap, now you need to delete one of the mappings. Now you need to only have from source to destination, but you don't need from destination to source anymore. So under the hood, I check that if new mode is remap, then I check if old mode is one of those with an additional set of mapping, and then I remove it from the hash table, right? And with my new system, where we don't have hash tables anymore, we still need some kind of resemblance of this, but like instead of doing table remove, so if new mode is remap, oh, it's because it's a terminal window. So if new mode is remap and old mode's one of these, then instead of doing table remove, I'll just do active binds of destination dot code dummy bind. That's it. Or like duh, literally. I can do like, I can do this. It doesn't matter. I think that's what I need to do here. And here the way we get destination is instead of table find, well, let me actually copy paste the line, and the destination is gonna be active binds. And active mapping dot what do we have, like active mapping dot source dot code. Yeah, there you have it. So yeah, we have like a destination. Then old mode is gonna be like a destination dot mode. Now destination actually, let's keep it as a pointer. So like that. We get this, we get old mode, we get destination pointer dot mode equals new mode, destination pointer, oh, active mapping dot I don't think we need this anymore. I think we don't need this one anymore, right? So let me go up here and active binds. It's a mapping bind. Mapping bind, it has it only has mode in the code. Old mode, so mode equals new mode. This we don't like change anymore. Ah, this is an yeah, this is a different thing. Yeah, so active mapping, source, mode. New mode. So it doesn't have to be source, it's just literally mode. Hey, Abstract Engineering, hello. Welcome to the stream. So maybe let's not do source. Maybe just let's do mode. So you hit a code, you get this bind, it already has a mode on it, and we change it. And then on the mapping itself, we only need to change the mode, and source and destination we can kind of do it. So just active mapping destination equals destination tr, like this. We can just do that. Yeah, we can just do that. And we save old mode. Then these are the changes, and then if new mode is remap and old is one of these, guess who I am? You're very abstract and very engineering. Yeah, how the fuck would I know? Well, let me stalk your profile. Ah, I see. Ahmed, it's you. Well, hello. It says it in your profile. Why do you have a different account? Or is this like your like corporate account, like a community account? And that other one was like your personal account. Yeah, I see. This is like your, like a Fedora, like a bow tie account, and the other one is for posting like furries and anime badonkers shit posts. Anyway. Hey Klaus, welcome to the stream. Not that far, I say. So yeah, if new mode is remap, we just set the destination code. Well, it's not this destination because we actually don't have a destination anymore. So now it's more like oh wait. It's actually a destination pointer now. So it's more like destination pointer code. Yeah, to a dummy bind. Furries are weird. Yeah, they are. Like actually I got used to furries. So I did a lot of speedruns, and it's just a lot of people in speedrunning communities like happen to be furries. It's just like, speedruns and furries kind of go hands in hands together. So I used to think furries are weird at first. Now, after being involved in speedrunning community for like 5 years, I kind of got used to them. I don't think furries are weird anymore. Yeah, so I guess you just need to be around more furries. Maybe, try to learn Rust. Yeah, and I mean, at some point you just like realize that furry is just like another hobby that people are like into. Furry fanboy Rust programming speedrunner. Well, join Hollow Knight speedrunning community. You're not gonna be alone. I mean, and furry, by the way, I know that when you know see like viral furry shit on the internet, it's usually always some like fucked up like sexual perversion, right? So it's just gotta be like a wolf with a huge like dick, and it's gotta be like furry porn and stuff. But it doesn't have to be sexual necessarily. Some people are just, you know, like channeling their inner dragon without any sort of like, without any like anything horny about it, or like, you know, like howling at the moon without to trying to fuck each other. So yeah, I know that there is like an internet perception that furry is like a fetish, but it doesn't have to be. I'm just like, you know, this is an educational stream, not only about programming. Yeah, some people just have a lot of hair. I can relate. I have a lot of hair in very unexpected places. I learned Rust a long time ago that fucking language shouldn't be used unless you're in a nuclear facility. Why do you know so much? I am a very knowledgeable person. What can I say? To bust out the first shit. I mean, my wife is a very innocent soul, and she likes to browse the kind of used marketplace, you know. We would usually buy some like, you know, stuff for kids, because like you don't want to buy like a new like a wheelchair, because your kid will grow out of it in like 4 months or something. So people usually like, somebody like would buy a new wheelchair like many years ago, and then it will just get passed around hands like every 4 months, right? For like a little, for like a chunk of its price. And my wife just hangs out on these marketplaces and buys stuff from time to time. And one day she called me. Hey Patrick, I'm not gonna finish this story, just out of respect for new people. You can remind me about the story maybe on the next stream, but yeah. Welcome. Thank you very much for the raid. So yeah, for people who don't know. So yeah. She called you. So yeah, for people who don't know Patrick, he's a let me shout you out. So yeah, first feel free to not feel free, like make sure to follow him. And he is a developer behind a game that's called Patrick's Parabox, which is a very like cool like mindfuck puzzle game. Parabox. This game. Yeah, Patrick's Parabox, which is like, it's a very good like puzzle game. It's when you like go into the hole and then you whoop like, oh holy shit, like, right? It's, yeah. If you like puzzle games, I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's like good time. Yeah. Were you working on your new game, or I saw your streaming today, and I think you were working on like a talk, like some kind of lecture, but I wonder maybe you did something else. And I am, by the way, I am working on like a, yo Buzzer, hello. Yeah, I'm working on my key remapper program, which looks like this. And it lets you like remap keys globally and per like application. And I'm just like raising it up, you know, like adding debug UIs, fixing some memory, like debugging stuff, and yeah, shit like this. I was working on a short Parabox programming talk. Yeah, I also did a little bit of Godot. I see. Sounds like a good file. Come on, I'm using VS Code as a debugger. Give me a Slack, like, it's Linux. You can't have like better debuggers on Linux. Also, I just realized that I don't properly offset Y here on the third row. Like, so the first and second row has like a nice spacing, and a third row doesn't have it. Yikes. Yeah, bye-bye. Thanks for the good luck, fun. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the raid. See you, see you. No, right debugger is not ready for Linux yet. I am praying every day that Ryan, you know, for like all gods to give Ryan like extra power, extra strength to work harder and faster. But yeah, it's not there yet. Right. So where was I? Yeah, I was doing this piece of code where I was removing hash tables and doing like a static array of binds instead. Yeah. So. Right, so if new mode remap, we need to make an old destination kind of a dummy. Yeah, destination pointer code. Bleh. I think we can do it. I think we can actually do it unconditionally without any if else. Right, so we get the destination and we just kind of assume that the bindings always go like two ways. And since in this case we don't have to be, you know, we don't have to care about pointers ever be null because we have statically allocated array, I think we can remove this entire if else condition. Let me think about it for a second. If the new mode is remap, then the destination will just be a dummy by default. Right, so I get the destination pointer here. Right, if an old one is remap, then the destination is already a dummy one. If old mode is one of these, then the destination will be set to some kind of a key code. Otherwise, destination to source. Boom. Yeah. Is the enum limited only to integer types? Yes, it is. Just like in C, all enum types are integers, like strictly. Well, yeah, they are integers. I'm pretty sure you can't have like a structs as enums. But you have a separate thing called enum flags, where you can have like a bit flags, like bit masks, like type safe bit masks. Those are pretty cool. So yeah, let me comment all of this out. And so if old mode equals remap, all I need to do is wait, let me think. So if new mode, like any of these, then I will just set right. So we just do active binds on the destination pointer code. We just set it to some kind of bind. We just set it to mode equals new mode, code equals okay, yeah, so let's call it backwards bind. So the bind from destination to pointer. Maybe let's call it like that. So dest to source is a mapping bind. Yeah. And now if new mode equals remap, then dest to source. Oh, I don't need to do this. It's actually already handled. So if new mode not equals remap, then we do dest to source that mode equals new mode, dest to source like code equals mapping source code, and then dest to source, I guess kind equals, well, for now it has to be mapping source kind. It will always be mapping source kind. So it's like the opposite. So it's the opposite of source. And then I guess we just always do that. I think it's literally all I need to do now. I don't need all of this crap. I can maybe simplify it further. For example, so here I'm getting like destination pointer. Old mode doesn't matter anymore. So destination pointer mode, I do this. I set the new mode. I set the new mode on the mapping itself. And then I dereference a destination pointer onto a mapping's destination. And then I need to go back and set the source as well. So I think that should work. I think that should do. Yeah. I'm trying to imagine a way for enum values. Like imagine if you have a specific program with types of errors with an associated log values. I actually don't even have to imagine it. I actually thinking about doing it in my program. Right, so third-party libraries will log strings. I can't really do anything about them. But in my program, I can have an error enum. So in my case, should the JI library use the context allocator and let the user change it before calling into the library if they want to? Wait, what are you asking about? Like, what's the context of the question? Like enums? So the way I was thinking about it is I would have like right, and then like syntax, then not syntax, in my case it's like file like does not exist, right? Access like not allowed. General library development. Yeah, that's, I guess, the current convention is this. So if your library wants to allocate something, it usually does it two ways. It just goes back to the context allocator and calls new, or alternatively, it could just like hard code temporary allocator. If it does some like internal allocation, and then there's like convention that at some point in your application, because you would also use temp allocator, and then at some point you would just clean the temp allocator yourself, something like that. Some people don't like that. Some people are a big fan of providing allocator explicitly. But I guess in general, the way currently library code in JS structured is, yeah, it would accept allocator. For using at, for taking the addresses of variables, and $ for getting the value of pointer. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at address is kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. So this is the way I thought about it. So you have access not allowed, then something like you're like nerd, blah blah blah, and you would log error, and then you would have a separate like an array of strings, like error strings, and this is just like string array, right? And you would have like file does not exist, right? Access was not allowed, something like that. And then you would just take an enum value and you would index this array to get an error message. And so Jai has this thing. Let me open actually a separate Emacs. So it has a, where was it? It has this directive specified on enum. Which means that you are required to have a numbers here. And now you, so this means that you always need to use like explicit numbers. And yeah, and also another thing is that if you want to like hardcore like associate strings to enums and not, so you don't have to cast them to numbers, there's a like third-party library for it, which is called enum array, enumerated array. Let me call that, and yeah, by Rezic. This is how it looks like. You have an enum, and you have enumerated array, so it can be a string, and then you do like accessing by enum value, and then you have a string error. So it's like type safe. It's an alternative to having to cast enum to string. Right, it's pretty cool. So I would probably do it like this. I'm probably not gonna use enumerated array, even though it's cool. I just raw dog it like that. Let me time out this guy again. This time on 10 hours, and we'll see if he like comes back tomorrow. He's I hate everything about the fact that you have to do that in user space. It's literally C++ madness. So would you prefer to have like string enums backed by language instead? For these specific purposes, would you prefer to... I mean, would you prefer to have it like this? Or how? Or what? You know, if you had like a string enums. Autocast. I mean, you can do XX. So they don't autocast, but you can do like, you know, that like, and you can do this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about letting them autocast. I can see why it's banned. I mean, you can argue. So you can argue that you should not let arbitrary integers to autocast to enums, but you should allow the other way. But then I don't really mind the fact that it's strict. Yeah. So instead of having you do enumerated array in user space, you could do something like I don't know, array of string, and then how do you what would be the syntax? Like this, I don't know. But I see what you mean. Something like this, right? Where you would tell the compiler that, yeah, this array can be indexed by this type. Maybe you would do like operator, right? And like T is, like, you know, like error string, and it would put it somewhere like here as well. I don't know. But hey, Chickbot, so today I'm just kind of working on rearranging like memory layout, converting hash tables into static arrays, stuff like that. So yeah, I think this should work. Let me try to compile it. Mappings array, again, this was neutral. Yeah, this is just literally that. This is literally that. Index to remove. Where is it here? So delete mapping, index to remove it index. And now we do mapping to remove, index to remove. Now table remove. So we don't do this. Yeah, this also gets way easier now. Yeah, string enums. Yeah. I see what you mean. I think you can do that in Python. Yeah, so not really custom allocators. It's more like we are rewriting memory. We are removing memory allocations. I guess that's a better way to put it. Constant in a struct. You can declare constant in a struct. You can. The memory would get put in the constant storage, but the identifier itself would belong to the struct. Yeah. So you're talking about something like and right, something like this. Right. And then you would just do like return. You would do something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so if index to remove, we get the mapping. I guess we get dest to source, which is active mappings and mapping to remove that destination.code. So dest to source. And then we just set both of them to dummy. Right? You get the destination. You need to remove this mapping. Like boom, removed. But you need to also remove destination from source if it's one of those that's not just strict remap. I guess we can just always do this. Yeah, because in my program, I don't want... So why am I even thinking about it? Because in my program, I don't... Well, at the moment I do, right? So you can do... Oh, it's... Ah, fuck, I broke it. Yeah, well, I broke it, but... So you have like from W to S, but I don't let you do like transitive, right? So from W to S and then like from S to something else. So that like doesn't make any sense to do. So I don't let you do it right now. Or I guess maybe I do let you do it, but I really shouldn't. So I think... So I think what I need to do is just unconditionally reset both. Let me do like note this unconditionally also removes dest to source mapping. Is it a mistake for remaps? I think it would only be an issue if we allowed transitive remaps, e.g. or i.e. A to D and D to like F. But I don't think it's a good idea to allow that anyway. And now, so what we do is active profile in UI mapping. Wait. This is gonna be array ordered remove for sure. So like this, and then active binds like mapping to remove that this destination.code. I bind and then dest to source. Dest source, I guess destination code. Also done bind. So like this. So destination is mapping to remove destination code. Yeah. So the original one. So the original one, this. No. The original one is source. Yeah, so mapping to remove source code, we remove the original one. So from source to destination. And then we need to destination from destination to source, also source. There you go. Actually I can just do this. And I don't need this. And now I don't need any of that. As far as I know, this is literally it. And we compile. I mean, now everything is broken, I'm pretty sure. So I am pretty confident I'm not gonna be able to set bindings. I will be able to remove them, right? Or mappings after, like nuked. Yeah, and you see nothing like happens. So, and oh, also presets are like cooked. So yeah, let's start. Like it compiles, it's already like fucking amazing. So let me remove hash table from the import. I'm pretty sure I am using hash table somewhere. Where actually? I'm using hash table on Linux to track currently grabbed keyboards. So this I think is actually a pretty decent use for a hash table because getting event number as a number and not as a string is very like inconvenient on Linux, so I think this is just fine to have as a hash table. Then what do you have here? Track file descriptor separately and never want to escape the containment. Yeah, libinput open devices. This is the use of the same table. And then... Yeah, exactly the same table. Handle libinput event. Yep. So this hash table, I think, should leave for now. And actually, you know what? I might go as far as to like literally like scope file it. Oh shit. I declared identifier G. Wait, what? But I'm importing it. Oh. Huh. There you go. Yeah, so now hash table is only used in Linux. Oh. Huh. Interesting. So when we set it, we incorrectly display. So look at this. I'm adding a It works? Maybe because it's not deleted. Let me restart the program. So I'm restarting the program. Unfortunately, I hit the race condition. So I do this, and it works. What if I'm trying to override it? Ha. Huh. Oh yeah, look at this. Incorrectly set those. Also, mappings aren't getting logged correctly. So first of all, let's debug this. So it doesn't know the key because it thinks it's 0. If it thinks it's 0, it probably means that I set it to dummy bind where I don't need to. Yeah, now it's like completely cooked. Oh, and now it fixed itself. Huh. Interesting. Didn't miss anything in the chat. Worked with a lot of circuit simulators, so having something like that enforces the type and message is good. I think it's very good for logging what you described, and I would like to switch this program to log like this. And it also means that I could log into a binary file, and this binary file could be very, very, very small, right? Because it would only serialize like enums and maybe some parameters. And then when you deserialize it, you inject strings like from your executable. And it also means that you can localize error messages better if you store strings separately from the error codes. But it means you can't really have them as constants. So if you have error enums, it means you lose localization ability. So I think the better way is to have enum with error codes and then to store errors in some kind of like a dynamic way. Hello, Dandy. Nice. I had a silly problem the other day with my chat logger had a memory leak in it. So when I turned on memory debugger, it would try to log the leak to my chat logger and cause an infinite loop. That's funny. Yeah. In my case, I have a race condition in my logger where I incorrectly use mutex in a way that can put my log consumer thread to like an infinite sleep and you can't wake it up. And so my logger producers, they would allocate onto their own arenas. And then at some point, instead of allocating infinite memory, I will like reset an arena back to the start. But before I do it, I make sure, so I check if the log consumer is coping well, if it received every log. And then so the thread will try to wake it up, but it can't because of, like, mutexes are incorrectly initialized, and it will just infinitely spin trying to wake the consumer up. So it's rare, but it happens. I kind of know how to fix it. Not bothering now. So in my case, it's not really a memory leak. In my case, it's more like just incorrect usage of pthread API. Yeah, I thought I can get away with it. Like, oh, it's eventually consistent, whatever. But apparently, not like checking, not like guarding your condition variable with mutexes is like undefined behavior in POSIX. So yeah. So technically, I guess my logger uses custom allocator, but it's like arena per thread. It's like flat pool per thread. So I think it's whatever. And it's flat pool, it's also pre-allocated. So it allocates 4K per thread on startup, and then it never reallocates, never allocates additional memory. It doesn't do anything like that. Tprint on enum is very expensive, yes, because it loops over every enum value, right? Yes, exactly, it has to loop over every value. Yes. And backwards is even worse. Yeah, because it has to do string comparison. Exactly. So if you really need to do that, if you need to do string to enum a lot, you're probably like better off with hash table. Yeah. And the enum to string, you can have like an enumerated array. Remap like enum value to string. And we just actually talked about it literally like 15 minutes ago, where Ilionto said that it should be just like provided by the compiler or whatever. Like an ability to index into array by enum, which, I mean, I think would be cool too. It's like, to me, it's not a big deal that you have to do some like autocast, but it's like not a big deal. Though it is nice to be able to use type info strings as inferred strings because they're constant data. Yes, they are. I actually do it. So I have enum for mapping mode, right? Enums, and then I have this mapping mode names. So at compile time, I create a static array of strings, and I convert each of these enums into a string by removing like underscores. And I just allocate, iterate over type info names, and just put a string onto this static array. And then at runtime, it's already like reallocated and initialized. Hey, Nuclear Ducks, hello. I did the space coding. Space coding is the next iteration of vibe coding. Yeah. Like if it would be a pointer to a string, then yeah. Then you would only need to like compare pointers, right? And you don't even need to compare strings themselves. If they're constant. But you still need to build well, yeah, I guess so. But again, if you need localization, then you're fucked, right? So this only works if your error codes are like in English and that's it. But if you're writing a game, if you're programming a game, then you probably want localization. Yeah, so it only works for constant strings. You can do it at runtime on only const, yeah. I mean, it's so yeah, that's why I was advocating for enum separately and then like constant array of strings. So the array would be constant, but the strings themselves would be runtime. So you can, for example, replace them from localization file. So that's why I was advocating for two different like things. But yeah, I'm actually surprised. I'm really surprised that it built like at all. Because I don't think it should have even compiled, to be honest. But yeah, let's try to maybe debug it and see why presets don't work. Let me literally go here and set. Let me actually do F1 and revert file here, yeah, and set preset. So let's like put a debug breakpoint here and just loop, and then we remove and boom. So first we have mappings in active profile in UI. Let me maybe add it to watch list. What's it called again? Active. I can't type because I block my keyboards. Can you? You can paste here. Can I? Insane VS Code UI. You can't paste with the mouse. Ah, shit. Add to watch. There you go. Wait, why is it unable to create variable object? Why? What? Why not? Ah, because it doesn't understand using. Let me restricted, open restricted, table add grab. Let me temporarily comment this out so I don't grab my keyboards and I can like type here. This is gonna be current program state, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna work this way. Oop, yeah, look at this. Structure has no component operator. What? What are you talking about? Fucking GDB, man. Okay, let's do current program state. Now, we have active profile in UI, and it has mappings, which is nothing. It doesn't have any mappings yet. So we reset it, keep in memory. Bloop. Then we allocate, well, we have like 4 mappings, which is just codes. And if preset was, which it is, so mapping 0 is 17, 31, 30, 32. So we just add a bunch of keys onto the preset. Now we create actual mappings. Code, code, mode. And mode is opposite, yeah. Mapping 2, mapping 3, which is, where's the code? Mappings 2. So mappings 2 is, source is 31, destination 17. Mapping 4, nice. Now, oh yes, I need to add it to an array of mapping, which I actually do here. Oh yeah, so I do it here. So it's mapping 1 is WS, this is AD. Bloop. Bloop, and then finalize actually doesn't do anything. So this kind of works. This works, but I need to... and let's press it again. And again, at some point it becomes like cooked. Maybe if I do this. And go back. No, neutral. Yeah, now it's cooked, you see? Now if I do neutral again, what does it do? So cleans the array. Does this, sets the mappings. And let me check. So mapping 4. 106 to 105. Mapping 2, 108 to 103. Mapping 3 is 105 to 106. Mapping 1 is 103 to... So these are correct. And I guess when I add them to the array itself, to the mappings, is it actually empty? Current program state in UI, yeah, 0. Yeah, mappings is 0. So now I add, now it has one mapping, and one of them is from 103 to 108. And I add another one. 105, 106. And then it kind of fixes itself. Huh. You have to do right arrow in watch window to access members. Oh, I see. Okay, that's a valuable information actually. Thank you. So is it cooked here? No, it's fine. Let's go back to neutral. So anything, 108, 103. No, also fine. So all codes are in place. Oh, but this gets broken. So this gets set to 0 somehow. So, I mean, this code is incorrect anyway. Set, reset. So what I need to do before I reset an array, I need to remove the... I need to remove currently active mappings. Currently active binds, sorry. So the way I do it is I literally index to remove. So I literally do the same thing as I did here. Not here, here. Yeah. So I iterate over this. So for this, I take so each mapping is like it, and then I kind of do this. So it's gonna be like it. I think that's it. So we reset active binds from the mapping. Then we do that. Array reset keep in memory. After we did this, we do array add, and we need to set this back. So here, for example, is gonna be active binds mapping one source code is gonna be mapping one destination, then mapping two source code, mapping two destination, oops, then mapping three source code, mapping three destination, mapping four source code, mapping four destination. So the same thing, but instead of setting some pointers from this, and I forgot the G. Manual entry. Oh, the fucking caps lock. I hate when it happens. Yeah. So now this should work technically always. So does it pass the sanity check to you? I think it kind of works. You see no more broken inputs. Epic. But I don't log mappings. I think I broke the mappings log. Log mappings. So there you go. We have a profile. Let me step into here. So log mappings. Holy how it's so slow. Like I'm typing in the search, and I see the delay in which search accepts my inputs. I fucking hate VS Code. Like Emacs is pretty slow, but VS Code just takes the lead. Arrows, boom. Oh, I need that and wait, what? Bro, do I not call? Yeah, all right. Okay, fair enough. Easiest debugging of my life. So there you go. So source W kind keyboard destination mode opposite, code S, kind keyboard. I forgot the line endings here. Na, 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 na. Well, I actually kind of... Well... whatever. Let it be like this. So boom, source. So mappings after. Source W, kind keyboard. Destination, mode opposite, source S, code S, kind keyboard. And then A. Yeah, so this is from the array. Nice. I think we can live with this. I'm pretty sure if I will try to actually use these bindings, they won't work. But I mean, UI works. Or if I try to assign it. So you can see I can't assign it anymore. I'm pressing space, but the button doesn't get reassigned. Boom, mappings after. Yeah. So maybe... Well, first, let me remove this. Actually, I can remove this comment now. Also, what I can do is I can check the comment. I think this still works. Look at this, yeah. So profile serialization and parsing still works surprisingly well. I don't think I broke that. So what I broke is listening to keys. And also setting keys. I also broke those. And this is a platform specific code. You know why I broke them? Because I don't... I mean, grabbing those doesn't really do anything, I'm pretty sure, no. And here, the boxer. So we still log it. Yeah, we still log keys. We catch them. Is that... Yeah, it doesn't react. It doesn't react, it doesn't set mappings. Yeah. Mappings before. Keyboard. Oh, left keyboard, destination, right keyboard. Yeah, and I can press anything. Sure. Lib input something, 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 something. Handle lib input event. There you go. So, actually, no, this is mapping resolving hook, mapping setting hook installed. Did I accidentally remove it? Set key mapping hook. I supposed to, yeah. Active profile setting. Released and active state equals nothing. Log active state setting source, next state setting destination. Array insert at would do this. Active mapping is that. Yeah, the first one. It's actually a pointer to it. And then set key mapping hook. Yeah. And so if mapping setting hook installed, handle lib input event send mapping. So we do this. Oh yeah. I if defed it. Yes, I needed to I needed to implement it from scratch kind of. Do I want to do it? Actually, I'm kind of tired. You know what? I think I'm gonna take a W here. Like, the presets work, and actually they probably don't really work if I try to use them, do they? Oh, they work. So yeah. The main functionality of the program works. The rules work system-wide, so they get applied to the system. And I can set from presets. I just can't set individual mapping, but I guess I can also do that. Yeah, so I can change mapping, remapping. And now, let me actually check if this works. So if I press W, so I'm pressing W on my physical keyboard, I press W, but you see S comes out. I'm literally pressing W. Yeah, so this works. If I set neutral, will this work? So like I'm holding W, I'm pressing S, and you see everything gets cancelled out. So I don't see S, I don't see W, because I'm pressing them at the same time. But AD, so yeah, okay. So rules work. We didn't, well, we broke that, but then refactoring worked, and setting presets worked, and this thing that I've dev'd to 0 with setting new key mappings, I will either port it off stream, because I mean, come on, it's kind of boring, right? It's just literally the same thing I did here, but slightly more convoluted. Or I'll do it at the start of the next stream. How about this? Hey, IOBlinks, who can't code with big font means you forget your code. So yeah. I mean, I usually code with slightly smaller font. I just set it like this for streams. So my regular font settings is would be, I think, like 15 or 14. I forget. So, oops, bruh. Yeah, so my regular one would be like this. Yeah, so this would be my regular one. I guess you can see it here. It's sort of the same. Actually, no, it's slightly bigger. So maybe 14. Yeah, more like it. So that's what I would use normally. Right, but I mean, it's probably not very good for streams. For streams, I usually settle on this. Very welcome to the stream. Actually, we're kind of done for now. That was a W. That was a pretty like hefty refactoring. I know I finished it like 80%. I need to finish this, but this is nothing really new. It probably won't be that entertaining to watch, so I'm gonna call it. Maybe let's find someone to raid. I got like a raid today, or actually even two. So maybe we will raid. Oh, Alkolong streaming. That's an easy target. Is there anyone else? Maybe like somebody smaller? I usually prefer to like find someone who streams something like super system level, maybe with like 2 viewers or 1-2 viewers, to maybe give some people more exposure. But if there is no, then we can always raid Alkolong. Cyber Witch cosplay. Happy Halloween. What's that? Is something interesting? Ah, it's some system administration. So not quite programming. Oh, Zockenheimer streaming. That's game dev learning C++ and NeoVim. Day 17. Vector in Rust. Day 7 of learning. Huh. We have more people today because usually at this time of day you just can't find anyone to raid. But today there are quite a few people. Oh, there's somebody with one viewer doing some C++. Okay, yeah, let's rate this. This somebody streaming C++ with one viewer. The perfect target for me. So, okay. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to jump on the Twitch chat for the raid. And I will see all of you maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow, if I'm not too cooked after a family day. Yeah. So, oh, actually, I think this dude doesn't have sound, but we will tell him. Yeah, anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night, good day, or whatever you are, wherever you are. This was a good stream. I liked it. Hope you liked it too. And yeah, see you around. Bye. Be nice to the new streamer. I'm clicking the button now.